Hello, Assalamu alaikum. How are you all? I hope that you all are doing great and having fun in learning English. If not, then you are at right place. So today our topic is actually regarding interview, that if there is any interview, so how we can speak fluently in the interview and we'll get hired. So let's straightly jump to our today's topic. Let me tell you what we'll cover today. The very first thing is of of course fear. It's actually human nature when it comes to going for an interview, or if you are presenting something, if you have to present something like just like a presentation, of course you feel fearful regarding that. So first of all, I think it is really important for all of us to talk about 16 tips to overcome your fear of public speaking. Now, here are some points that will help you regarding public speaking, of course, but these points are well noticed in the interview if you are appearing in any kind of. Let me tell you one thing. When it comes to formal interviews, so they play a really significant role, right? Formal interview, what is meant by formal interviews? It means in which your topic is rigid. Rigid means like you have to only talk about the marketing, you have only talk about the communication skills, right? That are called formal interviews. In formal communication, your topic is rigid. You are not allowed to be flexible. But when it comes to informal stuff, it means that your whole stuff is related to, they can ask about anything. Maybe they can ask about the current affairs. Maybe they'll ask about your past experience. Maybe they'll ask about personal questions or the personal interest questions. That matters a lot. So in our today's session, we'll figure out it, okay? So I think, first of all, let me tell you the difference between formal and informal communication. The the thing when it comes to fluency depends on your topic, right? So what is the first thing? If you want to become fluent, what is the main thing? Choose a topic that you are passionate about. What does that mean? It means you must show your inordinate behavior, right? Your aberrated behavior, your unique behavior. अब सपोज कि आप किसी इंटरव्यू में गए हैं, राइट? हम समझते हैं that whatever we are presenting, that's it, right? But that's not the case when it comes to an interview. When it comes to specifically the psychological or any kind of you can say psychiatrist interview, most of the time in forces, when you are appearing in any kind of forces interview, तो वहां पर आपके जो है वो डिफरेंट किस्म के टेस्ट होते हैं along with physical. वहां पर आपके psychological kind of test होते हैं. What actually they do, what is the purpose of that? Interview doesn't mean that they only need to talk about a topic, right? They means they have to observe your body language. Almost 75% of communication is through body language. That's pretty much surprising, right? Don't you think it is surprising? I think it is really surprising. Most often it happens that, suppose there is a person, right, who just entered the room. We ain't talked to that person yet, and we started actually judging to that person. Maybe that person is so arrogant, that person is so cruel, that person is so proudy, right? That person seems selfish, right? So these are the judgments. How we talk to that person? No. How can we judge then? We judge that person through their body language. That's the key in an interview. We actually ignore this thing, right? जब भी इंटरव्यू की बात आती है, हम इस चीज को बिल्कुल ही साइड पे रख देते हैं. हमारे जहन में एक ये इमेज बना होता है कि हाँ भाई, बस फॉर्मल जो है वो एक होनी चाहिए, ड्रेसिंग फॉर्मल चीजें होनी चाहिए, राइट? बट आई थिंक वी हैव टू स्टार्ट द टॉपिक. मैंने एक स्केच बना दिया है सो दैट आपके लिए बहुत ज्यादा इजी होगा, फिजिबल होगा टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट वी आर एक्चुअली गोइंग टू कवर, राइट? सो the first job interview tips that will help you get hired, right? So what is the first thing? Keys to effective interviewing. The first, project confidence and stay positive. These two things, Sounds pretty much casual, but they ain't. How? See, project confidence. Whether you are feeling confident or not, it is really important to portray, to show, to persuade other person that yeah, I'm feeling confident, I'm not nervous, I'm good to go, right? Next thing, stay positive. It is actually human nature. We can't reduce the fear, but sorry, we can't remove the fear, but we can reduce. Fear can't be removed 100%, but it can be reduced to 75%. That is the truth. It is human nature to feel anxious. It is human nature to feel fearful, to feel hesitation, to feel lack of confidence. It is fine. But the thing is how you can tackle it. That's what matters a lot. Project confidence. How you can project confidence. Pretended to be confident. Like sit properly. Properly means like you don't need to lean against the desk, you don't need to lean against the chair, don't hunch, just sit attentively. Your neck should be straight, your shoulders should be broad, and your arms shouldn't be crossed. Your arms should be opened, right? Opened arm means like they may be in your lap, you can place them in your lap rather than just crossing them. Because that body language means like you are an introvert, you were not very much welcoming. So that is really important. Also, very important tip, always keep a gentle smile on your face, because if you have a polite and gentle smile on your face, it means that you are confident, you are comfortable, you are good. Stay positive. Let me tell you. When it comes to glossophobia, what is actually glossophobia? It means fear of public speaking. When you are on the podium, when you are in the interview, in the you can say in the room where your interview is conducting, actually, whenever you will feel negative, there is 100% chance that something bad will happen. So why don't you think positive? Like it's a game of mindset. Staying positive is a game of mindset. Like suppose first scenario is you enter the room, you're feeling anxious, and you are thinking like, oh my God, maybe that person have already very experienced staff and he or she will hired only the experienced person. Maybe my dressing is not good. Maybe I'll lose my confidence. Maybe my voice tone will not be good. Maybe my body language is not good. Negativity. Other scenario is you entered the room and you started thinking, my CV is good. I've tried my best. I'm here to get the experience. I'm here to learn. And the person who is sitting as an interviewer wanted to hire a good person, right? Wanted to hire me if I'll have the skills. And I have that. That's why I am here. Pretty much different mindset. So your mindset plays a significant and you can say it's obligatory for you to stay positive. That's the two tips that will be helpful to you and effective also. Let's move forward now. The first one, practice and prepare. You can see top interview tips. What are they? They actually explain it with the help of six scenarios. Practice plus repeat. Get ready ahead of time. Try to stay calm. Follow up after the interview. Be on time. That means early. Research the company matters a lot. Suppose if you don't have knowledge about the company and you are just sitting there and they ask you why you wanted to join this company, you'll get the traditional answer because I think that job will be better for me. Not working. But instead of this scenario, if you will have a complete knowledge about the history of the company that you are joining, you know what are the scenarios, which kind of firm they are, which have kind of company they are actually running, then you can relate it. Like, suppose you can say, it's a kind of a physical platform where I'll get a lot of exposure, right? And I'm a fresh internee and I'll get a chance to experience the professional work environment. And I have a lot of tactics, a lot of techniques that I wanted to implement in this kind of in that kind of environment, right? अगर आपको कंपनी के बारे में कंप्लीट एक डिस्क्रिप्शन एक उसकी हिस्ट्री मालूम होगी देन आप उसको बेहतर तौर पर पोर्ट्रे कर सकेंगे अगर आपको पता ही नहीं है कि कंपनी क्या है कंपनी क्या सिर्फ आपको कंपनी का नाम पता है आपको नाम का ओरिजिन क्या है वो पता ही नहीं सो यहाँ पर आपकी डेफिशिएंसी जो है वो आ जाती है. इट इज रियली इंपॉर्टेंट टू एक्सपैंड योर नॉलेज एंड यू मस्ट हैव नॉलेज रिगार्डिंग each and everything of the company. So it comes in practice and prepare. Now, practice and prepare. What does that mean? It means that if you are actually applying for a specific post, you must know why you wanted to do this and which kind of benefits you will get from here, which kind of benefits you will give, how you will gonna serve. You have to prepare each and everything. Appearing in an interview, it's not a piece of cake. You have to prepare it a lot. Like suppose या आपके पास जो है आपने प्रैक्टिस करनी है, आपके पास जो है प्रॉपर एक सिनेरियो होना चाहिए, आपके पास गुड आंसर्स होने चाहिए एंड प्लीज कीप दिस थिंग इन योर माइंड. डोंट बी एक्सप्लेनेटरी, डोंट explain a lot. Just be brief yet specific. That's the excellent tip of communication skills. Whenever you are appearing in an interview, your communication skills matters a lot. How can you do that? You can do that by understanding the question properly, right? जब आप questions अच्छे तरीके से सुनेंगे, इसका मतलब ये नहीं होता कि आपने question सुना and suddenly you are just blurting out. No, ऐसा नहीं करना आपने. If you think, just take 5 second pause. 5 second का pause लें, question अच्छी तरह से understand करें and then आप उनको answer करें in a brief and specific way, right? Problem क्या आती है? हम लोग बहुत prepare करते हैं. We prepare a lot, but when it comes to actually doing it in a practical way, we feel confused, mind goes blank, shutting down, right? Not even a single word comes to our mind. Why is it so? Because everything is linked here. It's all the game of breathing. Tell me, whenever you will feel confused, what actually happens? You started breathing heavily. It will not gonna work. If you will have a control on your breath, it's an excellent thing that will help you a lot. जब आपका अपनी ब्रेथ पर कंट्रोल होगा, आपको पता होगा आपने कब पोज लेना है, कब क्या करना है, आपका माइंड रिलैक्स्ड सिचुएशन में, रिलैक्स्ड स्टेज में होगा. एंड जब आपका माइंड प्रॉपर्ली रिलैक्स स्टेज में होता है, देन यू नो व्हेन टू यूज व्हिच वर्ड, राइट? सो दैट इज द थिंग. आपने सबसे पहले क्या करना है? प्रैक्टिस एंड प्रिपेयर. नेक्स्ट थिंग वी हैव research the company and show what you know. Every time, whenever you will appear in an interview, they'll ask, what do you know about this company? Right? अगर आपने एक traditional सा answer दिया, I know it's a technical, here you can teach the technical skills. Everyone out there know it already. Tell them something new about their company. Tell them each and everything about the history, about their genre, about their obligatory actions, about their, you can say, ups and downs, right? बहुत से लोग हैं जो जानते हैं कि कंपनी का एक्चुअल थीम है क्या, बट बहुत कम लोग हैं जो कि इस बारे में फोकस करते हैं, इस चीज को हाईलाइट करते हैं, that which kind of ups and down the company face and how you're gonna deal with it, right? You can say how to deal in a crisis and how to deal in your perfect situations, right? So all the time, research the company, research about its history, research about their programs, research about their specialty, right? Why they are creating inordinate impact and how you can get influenced by their inordinate impact, right? So that matters a lot, right? Next thing, develop a connection with the interviewer. How is it so? I think it's better to read the paragraph. So I'm reading, have a look on it. Maybe we'll get a very incredible point here. In addition to indicating what you know about the company, you should also try to develop a connection with the interviewer. Now, know the interviewer's name, use it during the job interview. If you ain't sure of the name, call and ask prior to the interview and listen very carefully during introductions. Whenever there is a formal interview, if the interviewer asking about your introduction, firstly, he or she will definitely introduce herself or himself. So Tell me, what will be the impression if you will create, like, if somebody is actually calling you, like, suppose my name is Amna Amer. So if somebody called me, Miss Amna Amer, what do you know about the company? Rather than, what do you know about the company? Both are creating incredibly different impact. People would love to listen their good names, right? And if you call them with their full name, excellent impact, creating an excellent impact. So ये चीज बहुत मैटर करती है कि आपने अपने और इंटरव्यूअर के दरमियान एक कनेक्शन बिल्ड करना है. Just like, what do inspirational or motivational speakers do? They actually create a bridge. How they create a bridge, tell me. They tell their story. They tell the relatable events. Of course, you don't need to tell about your whole story in the interview if they'll ask, but you have to talk about the relative relevant scenarios so that you, an interviewer, just observe what the interviewer is looking for, right? Suppose if the interviewer is saying, suppose there is any teaching interview, there is a spoken English instructor interview. The interviewer is asking, what's your qualification and what's your experience, right? How you think that you'll be better for this firm. So of course I'll tell about my work experience that it's been 3 years. I'm teaching this language to the foreign students, to this and that, right? I'm creating a connection. And my answers are relatable rather than if I'll say, the last question, like I'll say, how you can say that this job will be better for you. सो समटाइम्स इस तरह से होता है कि इंटरव्यूअर एक क्वेश्चंस में बंडल अप करके बहुत से क्वेश्चंस को आंसर करने को आपको कहता है. आप क्या करते हैं? आप फर्स्ट टू बंडल्स के आंसर नहीं करते, आप लास्ट क्वेश्चन का आंसर कर देते हैं, राइट? लाइक, why do you think you are better for this job? So I'll say, because I have an experience for it. No. Actually, he or she is testing your ability to remind, to recall, to organize. यहाँ पर अगर इंटरव्यूअर बंडल करके क्वेश्चंस पूछ रहा है आपसे, इसका मतलब है वो आपकी एबिलिटी को चेक कर रहा है कि आप चीजों को ऑर्गेनाइज कर पाएंगे या नहीं, राइट? सो that's also really important. Next, get ready ahead of time and be on time. Both are relatable. What does that mean? It means always reach early. Of course, that's not relevant, but that's just exceptional one. Next thing, try to stay calm. Now, let me tell you about active listening and empathetic listening here. What is active listening? Active listening means it is a part of communication skill. Active listening means if the interview is talking about something which is really important and you have to listen. Listening doesn't mean only listening. Active listening means observation plus listening plus relevance. Now, how can you implement? Whenever you appear in an interview, your body language, active listening matters a lot. You have to listen to the interviewer actively, right? Let's read it, then you'll better be able to understand it. See, during the job interview, try to relax and stay as calm as possible. Remember that your body language says as much about you as your answers to the questions. Let me give you an example. Suppose interviewer asks you, are you feeling confident or are you feeling confused? By sitting in the crossed arms, you are saying, I'm feeling confident. What does that mean? It means you are not. You are lying. Your body language isn't matching to what you are saying. Let me give you one more example. Suppose interview ask, you were an extrovert or you were an introvert? By sitting with the crossed arms, you are saying, I'm an extrovert. Wrong. It's not the body language of extrovert. Extrovert says open arms, but one arm may be on the chair, one arm may be on your lap, like that, right? So आपकी body language, जैसे मैंने आपको पहले बताया है, आपकी body language आपके बारे में सब कुछ बताती है. It tells you, right? It tells everything about you. Next, what they are saying, proper preparation will allow you to exude confidence. First one, as you answer questions, maintain eye contact with the interviewer. Now that's really important. What is an eye contact? Eye contact have different forms. The most worst one is just staring. Don't stare. Maintaining a good eye contact, very important thing is Look to the other person's eye straightly with a gentle smile on your face, then look around. Then look again to the person, then look around. Got it? It seems like you are observing the surrounding, you are comfortable, and you are also maintaining the eye contact. So, eye contact किस तरह से प्रॉपरली प्रोफिशिएंटली आप मेंटेन कर सकते हैं इसकी वीडियोस आपको टेड टॉक्स चैनल पर मिल जाएंगी हियर इज अ चैनल टेड टॉक्स you can write the how to maintain the eye contact. You'll get to know about a lot of videos here. So you can go with it. Okay. So next we were talking about be sure to pay attention to the question so that you don't forget it and listen to the entire question using active listening before you answer so you know exactly what the interview is asking. What is that? I told you, active listening plays a mandatory role and is obligatory if you really want to be successful during your interview. Why? Active listening demands proper response. Suppose if the interview is asking a question and you are sitting with a blank face and you are then answering, not gonna help. It will not gonna help. All the time, whenever you are appearing in an interview, if interview is saying something, just show it that you are understanding. Like just you can move your head like that, like shake your head, not very often, but of course you can show as a gesture, right? That, yeah, I am getting you. Then you can take 5 second pause, understand the question, and then respond. Got it? So active listening is really important. Next, avoid cutting off the interviewer at all costs, especially when he or she is asking questions. Very significant point. If interview is asking for something, never interrupt. If he or she is giving you information about the company, never interrupt and say, I don't know about it. Or even don't say, yeah, I have read it on your website. Don't say that. If you will meddle, if you will cut them off, if you will interfere, it means you don't have patience. It means you are very impulsive and anxious person. And for impulsive and anxious person, they don't have any hiring, they don't have any vacancy, right? They want people who listen, who have this ability to listen and to be patient. So that's really important. Okay. Next, we have if you need to take a moment to think about your answer, we have already talked about it, right? Instead of saying, yeah, my point is, yeah, yeah, don't say that. Instead of going through this, just take 5 second pause and that's it. Okay, next thing. Avoid the common interview mistakes. Okay, we are not going to these ones. I think these are enough for you. Yes, these are enough for you. You observe this thing unconsciously. We never do this consciously. Unconsciously we do this. So please practice as much as you can. जितनी ज्यादा अब कोई भी जो है ऑब्वियसली कॉन्शियसली जो इस तरह से नहीं करेगा ना कि वो अटके या वो अपनी जो बात है उसको तोड़ तोड़ कर बोले राइट सो इसीलिए आप प्रैक्टिस करें, जितनी ज़्यादा प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, उतना ज़्यादा आपके लिए चांस होगा कि आप जो है कॉन्शियसली या अनकॉन्शियसली जो है वो स्टैमर नहीं करें, आप मम्बल नहीं करें, आप फिज़िबली जो है वो बोल सकें, राइट? नेक्स्ट हमारे पास आ जाती हैं 5 टिप्स। पहले हमने देखी है कि किस तरह से कौन-कौन सी चीज़ें हमने अवॉइड करनी है। नाउ 5 ways to stand out in your next job interview. Of course, not the next job interview. I'm just giving you overall tips. So first one, avoid talking about what you are not. Very important thing, right? How? See, most of the time it happens we exaggerate. We exaggerate a lot. So the excellent tip to become fluent and get hired, talk about you are. what you are because you know about yourself, figure out yourself, scan yourself. सबसे ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम क्या आती है, हम स्टैमर क्यों करते हैं, हम क्यों अटकते हैं, क्योंकि हम लोग जिस बारे में बात कर रहे होते हैं हमारी इस पे ग्रिप नहीं होती. सो ऑलवेज चूज द टॉपिक दैट यू आर पैशनेट अबाउट. ये एक टिप है, एक्सीलेंट टिप है फ्लुएंसी की. कौन सी चीजें आप बगैर अटके बोल सकते हैं जिन पे आपकी ग्रिप होती है, right? So all the time in an interview, try to talk about the personality traits that you have, that you possesses. Because if you will not have any personality traits and you are saying, suppose you're saying, always I'm on time, only today I'm late in the interview. You are lying. Interviewer know already, right? So that's really important. Avoid talking about what you are not and talk about what you are. Talk about the topic that you already have your grip over it, right? So इससे क्या होगा, इससे आपकी हेल्प होगी, आप फ्लुएंटली बोल सकेंगे क्योंकि आप already उस चीज को जानते हैं. You already know about that, you already have familiarity of it, rather than a really different topic, really different quality, and you are saying like that, right? Next we have tell a story about yourself. It's really important telling a story about yourself. How? Let me tell you. As we have talked about it before, that what's happened in inspirational and motivational webinars or seminars, they actually tell you a story. And by telling you a story, they increase the familiarity. They create a bridge, right? They create a bridge, and through that bridge, then they connect. So we have to develop the connection. So अगर हमने connection develop करना है, हमने कोई ऐसी story सुनानी है जिससे पता चले, ऐसी नहीं सुनानी emotional kind of. No, not personal stories, professional stories always. Always talk about the professional stories, the stories in your professional career. Like suppose your past job experience, you are talking like I've already worked in a firm, and by working with them, I learned a lot of technical skills. I learned also how to deal with the customers in a good way with a lot of empathy and how to show empathy. That's how you have to tell a story. सबसे major problem क्या आता है जब भी interviewer पूछता है, okay, just tell me about your life story or tell me about something or any event. हम क्या करते हैं, हम बहुत ही sensitive किस्म का event उठा के बता देते हैं. And for a sensitive person, if you are a sensitive person, if the interviewer will sense this thing that you are a sensitive person, they will not gonna hire you. Why? Why they're not gonna hire you? Because sensitive person means over emotional, uncontrollable emotions. And if you'll have uncontrollable emotions, you'll never be able to cope up with the issues that you will face in the organization. So that's what matters a lot. All the time, talk, but talk in a good way and in a knowledgeable way. Got it? Next, we have always yourself to be vulnerable. Okay, allow yourself to be vulnerable. What is the meaning of vulnerable? Vulnerable means at risk, on risk. अब ये क्या चीज है, इसमें ये चीज आती है कि talk freely about your failures. Okay, talk about the vulnerable steps that you have taken in your past, right? इसमें सिर्फ एक ही चीज मैं explain करूंगी और वो कौन सी चीज है, वो ये है, be vulnerable to talk about your failures. Got it? Be vulnerable. Don't feel hesitation and don't feel bad about your failure. Okay. Next, pose thoughtful questions to your hiring manager. Oh, that's an important one now. If the interviewer will ask that, do you have any question? So don't please ask about the questions that he or she already answered. No, because if you will do that, what will happen? It means you will not listen the conversation properly, the discussion properly. कभी भी अपने इंटरव्यूअर से अगर वो आपको ये चांस देता है कि आपने कोई क्वेश्चन पूछना है, रिपीट क्वेश्चन मत पूछें. डोंट डू दैट. अगर आप ऐसा करेंगे तो क्या होगा, ये इंप्रेशन जाएगा कि जो भी कन्वर्सेशन आपकी हुई है उसमें से सिर्फ कुछ ही बातें आपने अपनी जो है वो रिमाइंड की हैं. तो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. यू कैन आस्क अबाउट द कंपनी, because rather than asking about how much salary you will pay, where you are standing, ask about the company. Now, what is the actual mission and vision statement of the company, right? How you groom yourself through the company. So इससे ये gesture जाता है कि आप serious हैं company के साथ. ये gesture नहीं जाता कि आपने already बहुत सारी firms में apply किया हुआ है, right? So ये कुछ technical चीजें हैं जो कि बहुत important हैं और ये आपको help करती है to become fluent. Okay. Now here are some questions that can be asked in the interview. The first one, tell me about yourself. Let's see how to answer this one. It's mentioned here. Tell me about yourself. What will be the possible answer? Firstly, let's read about one thing. All the time, tell about yourself with start with the words like not from your full name, but starts with the words like well or surely like this. क्योंकि जब straightly आप बताएंगे I am Amna Amer, myself Amna Amer, it seems like pretty much childish. So instead of that, whenever you will introduce yourself or tell about yourself, you can start with the words like, well, I would love to talk about myself. I would love to introduce myself. Or you can say, well, thank you for asking about myself. Like that. Okay. क्या चीजें आपको बतानी है tell me about yourself में first of all ये सारी professional चीजें हैं जो कि आपको बताना है always never ever tell that my name is Amna no always tell about your full name then your current qualification, your hobbies, what you love to do, and also in your hobbies, this thing is included, like your spare time. Don't tell that I have done my FSC, my intermediate, my matric. No, current qualification, your diplomas, your short courses, if you already done that kind of, your exposure. टेल मी अबाउट योरसेल्फ एक ऐसा क्वेश्चन है जिसका रिस्पॉन्स आपकी पूरी पर्सनालिटी का एक इंडिकेटर देता है कि आपकी पर्सनालिटी है क्या सो अगेन सिर्फ उन्हीं चीजों के बारे में बताएं जिस पे आपकी ग्रिप है ओके नेक्स्ट है वॉक मी थ्रू योर रेज्यूमे व्हाट इज दैट एक्चुअली वॉक मी थ्रू योर रेज्यूमे अब इसमें जो है वही चीजें आ जाती हैं कि देखिए यहाँ पे आपकी ब्रेन की एक ये शार्पनेस काम करती है जो चीजें आपने अपने रिज्यूमे में लिखी है वही चीजें वही हॉबीज आपने बतानी है इसीलिए प्लीज अपने रिज्यूमे में इस तरह की चीजें नहीं लिखनी दैट यू थिंक दैट यू हैव नेवर डन लाइक सपोज यू आर राइटिंग I'm a sports person. I love to play badminton, right? You have written that, write this in your resume, but when it comes to interview, you are saying reading is my hobby, gardening is my hobby. No, 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 no. It will create a really negative gesture, right? So make sure whatever you have written on your resume, just deliver the same stuff while introducing yourself. क्योंकि वो सिर्फ चेक कर रहे हैं कि आपकी पर्सनालिटी में कितना क्लैश है और आप कितना झूठ बोल सकते हैं, राइट? सो दैट मैटर्स अ लॉट. अब यहाँ पर कुछ जो है क्वेश्चन है हाउ डिड यू हियर अबाउट दिस पोजीशन बी ऑनेस्ट बी ऑनेस्ट फ्लुएंसी की जो टिप है वो टोटली रिलेट करती है आपके टॉपिक पर जिस पे आपकी ग्रिप है लाइक दिस वन चूज अ टॉपिक यू आर पैशनेट अबाउट I think rather than discussing the question, I'll go with the questions after 5 minutes. But before that, I have to cover this thing कि क्योंकि हमारा जो मेन टॉपिक है वो क्या है कि फ्लुएंट होकर हम लोग किस तरह से हायर हो सकते हैं राइट सो मेन चीज यही है कि डोंट टॉक अबाउट द स्टफ in which you are not talk about the personality trait that you haven't possessed yet right so what is written here has had an inordinate impact on you you want to share with others you intensely feel others could benefit from knowing you can speak about it from the heart last one important one speak from your heart don't exaggerate got it so जब भी आपने इंटरव्यू आपसे कंडक्ट किया जा रहा है if they'll ask this question this one here it is how did you hear about this position don't say don't tell a lie okay be honest that I've heard through Instagram I've seen your ad like that why do you want to work at this company अब इसमें आपकी जो हॉबीज हैं the hobbies you have talked about वो indicate करती है right your technical skills you can say because my background is from IT that's why I want to work in this IT company because what I have learned I want to implement it कभी भी clashing fields का आपने clashing answer नहीं देना right अगर आपका जो है वो मार्केटिंग का बैकग्राउंड है ऑब्वियसली आपने उसको उससे रिलेट करना है सो मेक श्योर करें कि आपने अगर बताना है दैट व्हाई यू वांट टू वर्क एट दिस कंपनी सो उसको आपने अपनी करंट डिग्री से रिलेट करना है अपना यहाँ पर जितने भी क्वेश्चंस हैं उसमें आपका अपना कोई पर्सपेक्टिव नहीं है राइट टोटली वो एक यू कैन से एक एक्सेस के अराउंड रिवॉल्व कर रहा है, और वो कौन सा एक्सेस है? कंपनी का. व्हाई डू यू वांट दिस जॉब? बी ऑनेस्ट, बी ऑनेस्ट. You can say, because I want to, of course, explore. Don't never ever say that because I want to earn money. No, of course it's a mandatory thing, but you can say because I want to I want to experience more. I want to get experience. I want to learn. I want to implement. Then you can say that, of course, financial stability also important, but never ever say that firstly financial stability. Because if you will do this, if you will say, if you will talk like this, what it seems like maybe you can do anything, right? Maybe you can do anything for money. So that's what matters a lot. Why should we hire you? Now, you have to talk about your personal traits. Why they hire you? You can say, because I'm diligent, because I have a great knowledge about that company, and I think my compatibility and interest matches a lot with the company. So through mutualism, I think I can work perfectly in this environment, right? अब आप देख रहे हैं, आपने ये नहीं कहना why should I hire you. You can say कि because I have this skill and I am the best and I have all the skills that you are looking for. No, आपने recall करनी है वो skills ताकि उनको पता हो कि आप जिस बारे में बात कर रहे हैं आपकी उस चीज पर grip है, right? Next हमारा है जी what can you bring to the company. यानी कि आप जो है वो क्या चीजें bring करेंगे कंपनी को. अब आप अगर ये ओवरऑल क्वेश्चंस देखें, इन सब क्वेश्चंस में वो सब चीजें सैलरी एंड दैट काइंड ऑफ, मैं ओवरऑल एक स्केच बनाना चाहती हूँ आपके माइंड में कि फ्लुएंसी की क्या चीजें जो है फ्लुएंसी के लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है. तो सबसे पहली चीज ये है, गेट ऑर्गेनाइज्ड. इट इज रियली इम्पोर्टेंट how you are answering the questions. Like suppose I'm again relating it to the previous one because it's kind of a chain thing. If they'll ask you about something related to your study background, but don't be messy regarding your introduction. You should be organized. Your each and everything should be organized. Like suppose, if you are talking about your introduction, then of course you have to talk about your full name. You have to talk about your current qualification. Then you have to talk about your hobbies. Right? There is an organized way here. बिल्कुल इसी तरह से आपने किसी भी क्वेश्चन का आंसर करना है, जैसे कि मैंने बंडल क्वेश्चंस की बात की है, आपने ऑर्गेनाइज करना है, ऑर्गेनाइज्ड आंसर करना है, राइट? सो ये चीज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आपके माइंड में आपका टॉपिक जब तक ऑर्गेनाइज नहीं होगा तब तक आप आंसर्स भी ऑर्गेनाइज नहीं दे सकेंगे. सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज गेट ऑर्गेनाइज रिगार्डिंग योर टॉपिक. यू मस्ट नो that which thing comes first in your topic, which thing is really the backbone of your topic. Now topic means company, right? Because of course you will you will appear in an interview of any company or a firm or any kind of academic stuff, right? So वो चीज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आपके माइंड में कंपनी का पूरा मैप जो है वो प्रॉपरली ऑर्गेनाइज होना चाहिए. और वो किस तरह से हो सकता है? थ्रू द माइंड मैपिंग टेक्निक. आई एम टेलिंग यू अबाउट द माइंड मैपिंग टेक्निक राइट नाउ. उसमें क्या होता है? It is mentioned here. In the mind mapping technique, actually, what you basically need to do, see, in mind mapping technique, firstly, you need to select a topic, and that is, of course, your company. Then you have to make, I'm telling you about that, how can you prepare about the company? Make 6 headers about the company, like company's portfolio, company's background, or you can say history, company's importance, company's courses, company's merits and demerits, company's ups and downs. After that, what you need to do in those 6 headers, write subheaders. आपने उन 6 headers में से subheaders लिखने हैं. जब आप subheaders लिखेंगे फिर क्या होगा? Subheaders लिखेंगे, आपको information, आपके माइंड में एक मैप बन जाएगा. आपके पास एक मैप होगा कंपनी का कि अच्छा इस तरह से इस ईयर में ये चीजें हुई हैं. सो जब भी आपने किसी भी इंटरव्यू में अगर आप चाहते हैं कि यू विल टॉक विदाउट इवन स्टॉपिंग, विदाउट इवन स्टॉकिंग, विदाउट स्टैमरिंग, what is the thing, my dear? The thing is, get organized. Got it? Next, we have practice, practice, and practice. I think it is better to read the last paragraph. You'll be able to understand. When someone asks me, how he can build effective communication skills and improve his public speaking, I quote the words of Albert Hubert, who said, "The only way to learn to speak is to speak and speak and speak and speak and speak and speak and speak." Now, you see what is happening here? Practice. The problem is in front of you. Like, suppose your problem is how all the time I face rejections when I appear in an interview. So, my question is, would you ever search for the history, honestly, about the history of the company, about the complete thing? Do you have a complete grip on your knowledge, on your topic? Then most often people will say no. I'll search about the main points, but not about very deep inside. It won't sound intriguing, believe me. प्रॉब्लम भी आपके सामने है, सॉल्यूशन भी आपके सामने है. सॉल्यूशन क्या है? सॉल्यूशन ये है माय डियर कि आपने इस चीज को मेक श्योर करना है कि जहां पर आप जा रहे हैं आपको उसके बारे में क्या होना चाहिए, कंप्लीट नॉलेज होना चाहिए, आपकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग होनी चाहिए, राइट? और उस नॉलेज को, उस अंडरस्टैंडिंग को यू हैव टू लिंक इट टू द मेन स्टफ. व्हाट इज द मेन स्टफ? यू कैंडिडेट, राइट? नेक्स्ट थिंग हमारे पास क्या आती है? अब मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम क्या होता है, रिकॉर्ड योरसेल्फ एंड लर्न, इंपॉर्टेंट वन. जब भी हम लोग किसी इंटरव्यू में अपेयर हो रहे हैं, हमारी वॉइस टोन बहुत मैटर करती है. इफ द इंटरव्यू विल से, can you please speak a little bit louder? You're not audible to me. It means you are facing lack of confidence issue. So please monitor your voice tone. अब एक इंसान ने कभी भी खुद को रिकॉर्ड नहीं किया, खुद की वॉइस नहीं सुनी, खुद की वॉइस को जज नहीं किया, ये नहीं देखा कि क्या फ्लॉज हैं एंड हाउ कैन आई मेक माय वॉइस टोन इम्पैकेबल वन. वो डायरेक्टली इंटरव्यू में जा रहा है और ये सोच रहा है कि वो फ्लुएंटली सब क्वेश्चंस के आंसर देगा विद इन अ गुड वे. रॉन्ग. दैट्स अ रॉन्ग थिंग. सो सबसे पहली चीज आपने क्या करनी है, अपनी वॉइस टोन, आपकी वॉइस नोट, इट वॉइस टोन इज एक्चुअली अ वेपन फॉर यू. द वेपन, द मैजिकल वॉन्ड that you can do anything, you can achieve everything through your voice tone. If you will master your voice tone, then half of your work is done. How? If I'll speak in a very fast and furious way, and the interviewer will not be able to get me, of course, not a good thing, not a good gesture. If I'm talking in a very dull way, my voice tone is very heavy, and I'm breathing very heavily, and I'm again taking a pauses, not gonna work. So, क्या चीज important है? Please, खुद को पहले रिकॉर्ड करें. कहीं पे इंटरव्यू देने जा रहे हैं, खुद का इंटरव्यू करें. क्वेश्चंस आपको गूगल से मिल जाएंगे अगर आप गूगल पर लिखते हैं. द म्यूज इज अ वेबसाइट जहां पर आपको काफी इंफॉर्मेटिव मटेरियल मिलता है. सो वहां से आप क्वेश्चंस उठाकर प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हैं. Video recording practice. I'm not talking about audio recording. Please don't do that. Go with video recording. So when you will do video recording, you will get to know, oh yeah, here my expressions are not good. Here I need to focus a bit. Here I need to do this and that. That matters a lot. ये चीजें बहुत ज्यादा मैटर करती हैं. ठीक हो गया? तो आपने इन चीजों पे फोकस करना है. इंटरव्यू से कुछ दिन पहले ऑडियो रिकॉर्ड, सॉरी, वीडियो रिकॉर्डिंग करना शुरू करें. जब आप वीडियो रिकॉर्डिंग करेंगे, एक तो आप में कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्ड होगा, आपकी वॉइस टोन इंप्रूव होगी. वॉइस टोन इंप्रूव करने का बेस्ट मेथड है ब्रीथिंग प्रैक्टिस. व्हाट इज द ब्रीथिंग प्रैक्टिस एक्चुअली? व्हेन यू विल गो ऑन यूट्यूब एंड यू विल राइट breathing practice, let me tell you, if I'll write here breathing practice to improve the voice tone. Now you will see here we have lot of breathing practices. See, हमारे पास बहुत सारी breathing practices आ जाएंगी. So जब आप breathing practice करेंगे, then क्या होगा? इससे आपकी voice tone improve होगी. The thing is, we even don't know how to breathe. We even don't know how to speak. Some of us are speaking from our nose. Not gonna help you. Please have a look. Have a look on your voice tones. Don't, if your voice tone is very shrill, very heavy, no worries. You can control it with the help of your breath. You can tune up, you can tune um, anything like you can do with your breath, right? अगर आपकी आपके breath पर grip है, obviously आपकी voice tone जो है वो बहुत better हो जाएगी. And people would love to hear very good and impeccable voice tones, and only we have few of people who have impeccable voice tones. So that matters a lot. Now, what matters? Next thing is exercise before you speak. That's also a link to the previous one, breathing practice. Next, we have take a pause. Important one. One of the very important thing to become fluent is you must know when to take a pause. ये आपका एक वेपन होता है कि आपको पता हो कि आपने पॉज कहाँ पर लेना है, आपने कहाँ पर कट करना है और कहाँ पर स्टार्ट करना है. That matters a lot. Let me tell you one thing. Suppose I'm speaking. I'm going to tell you about the first three finalists of this contest. 3-second pause. Your curiosity will be increased, right? Your engagement will be increased. You will start engaging and guessing and responding. You will be more responsive. So ये fluency का मतलब ये नहीं होता that you have to speak and speak and speak. Not at all. Pause is a part of it, right? Pause is the part of it. Pause भी उसका एक part है. Maybe you have observed that what do motivational speakers do? They actually know whenever they are speaking, they know when to take a pause, when to just tone a little bit lower and just take a pause for 2 to 3 seconds. Then what they actually do, they actually ask to you, they engage you, just like salesmen do this. Public speakers do this. जब आप Google पे जाएंगे, sorry, YouTube पे जाएंगे and search करेंगे, the importance of taking a pause in breath. सो आपको पता सॉरी इन स्पीच, सो आपको पता चलेगा कि कौन कौन सी कितने कितने इंपॉर्टेंट पॉजेज हैं. पॉज का मतलब ये नहीं है कि कहीं पे भी आप रुक जाए. नो, you must know it. You must know that when now the interest of audience is just increasing. Now, I'm talking about the communication. That's why I'm talking, linking it to the public speaking, but taking a pause is pretty much important in the interview. If you will, because if you will take a pause, it means interview is getting you. Interview is actually understanding that, yeah, the candidate is taking his or her time to analyzing the question, to organizing it, then speak, rather than blurting out. क्या होगा अगर आप straightly जो है अपने question का फौरन आंसर कर देंगे? क्या होगा? देयर इज अ चांस कि शायद आप कुछ गलत बोल दें. रादर देन आप एक क्वेश्चन का आंसर करें, और उस क्वेश्चन का आंसर आप किस तरह से करें. यू विल आंसर टू दैट क्वेश्चन इन सच अ वे कि आपकी जो एक स्पीच है, यानी कि उसका एक प्रॉपर मीनिंग पता चले कि आपने क्वेश्चन जो है क्वेश्चन का ही आंसर दिया है. मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम ये होता है कि हम लोग एक्सप्लेनेटरी होने के चक्कर में वी एक्चुअली गेट अवे फ्रॉम आवर टॉपिक एंड दैट्स नॉट अ गुड थिंग. सो पॉज लेना है, क्वेश्चन में से कीवर्ड को उठाना है. Just highlight the keywords from the question and use it in your response. And when you will use it in the response, it will give a gesture to the interviewer that yes, the candidate understand the question, listen the question, and analyze it, right? So of course they'll not mind the pause that you will take. Next thing we have, to become fluent. To become fluent, reading is the key. We can't actually you can say underrate the importance of reading, because when we read, we get to know that how can we learn vocabulary words. Let me tell you one thing. Use easiest language in the interview. Interview में difficult words use नहीं करने, because ये बहुत बेटर चांस है कि अगर आप एफिशिएंसी दिखाने के चक्कर में कोई फर्स्ट करें कि आप कोई डिफिकल्ट वर्ड यूज करते हैं, इंटरव्यूअर आपसे ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट वर्ड यूज करे और आपको वो पता ही ना हो, राइट? तो क्या जेस्चर जाएगा? सिर्फ आपने इंप्रेशन क्रिएट करने के लिए ही वोकैबुलरी का वर्ड जो है वो लर्न किया. इसीलिए ट्राई टू आंसर योर क्वेश्चन इन द ब्रीफर वे, इन द सिंपलेस्ट वे, and in the most flexible way. Flexible doesn't mean that you just get away from your topic. It means like you are getting me, like what I meant to be. It means like आपको इस चीज का अंदाजा होना चाहिए कि किस तरह से जो है जब आप लाइक रीडिंग करेंगे, जब आप रीडिंग करते हैं तो आपको पता चलता है कि कौन सी वोकैबुलरी किस तरह से यूज करनी है. बट proficient vocabulary ko, don't use proficient vocabulary into the interview, because I'm again saying there is a chance that the interviewer maybe use some difficult vocabulary words and you will not be able to get it. So that's really important. कि आप इजी वोकैबुलरी के वर्ड यूज करें ताकि आपके लिए भी फिजिबल हो और उनके लिए भी फिजिबल हो टू अंडरस्टैंड, राइट? सो या, दैट्स ऑल. That's it about it. So I hope that you will get your answer. That's how you'll become hired. मैंने आपके साथ कुछ tips and tricks share किए हैं. That will be completely about like how you can answer the formal questions, how you'll answer the informal question. One thing is left. Every time when interviewer asks about personal question like what's your full name, what's your current city, where's your residence, be point to point, be rigid, don't be explanatory. But when it comes to personal interest questions, तो पर्सनल इंटरेस्ट के क्वेश्चन जब भी आपने आंसर करने हैं तो उसको एक दो लाइंस में एक्सप्लेन कर दें, ज्यादा एक्सप्लेन नहीं करना, एक दो लाइंस में एक्सप्लेन कर दें सो दैट देयर इज अ एंड ऑल्सो जो भी पर्सनल इंटरेस्ट के क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाते हैं उनका मकसद यही होता है टू गेट टू नो, टू एनालाइज योर पर्सनालिटी, राइट? सो टू एक्चुअली tell you guys where you guys what is the reflection of yours. It's like that. So it's really important whenever you're asking personal questions and personal interest question. Personal interest question actually describes your personality type, and personal questions actually describe you. So make sure you know the difference. So, and now I'm actually just recalling the stuff that which things you actually need to do. We have discussed it here. And this one, job interview tips that will help you get hired. What was the first one? Project confidence, stay positive, and then here they are. What are they? Practice and repeat, get ready, ahead of time, try to stay calm, do breathing practice, complete research for the company. You must talk about the topic that you are passionate about, right? Be on time, and that's it. I hope that you understand a lot of things from here and you would love to implement it and they'll be helpful to you. And that's it for today's lecture. And take care of yourself then. And Allah Hafiz.